Hi guys! Today I'm going to show you how to make Black Forest cake. In German it's known as Schwarzwälder Kirschtorte. This cake comes from the Black Forest region in southwestern Germany. There are a lot of variations to Black Forest cake depending on where you're from, but there is a law in Germany that states Kirsch has to be used in this cake. Kirschwasser or cherry brandy is made from sour cherries, and it is traditionally used in this cake. If you don't want to use alcohol, you can use the syrup the cherries came in the can or the bottle. Most of us are not going to have access to fresh cherries when we want to make this cake, so we can substitute jarred cherries, canned cherries, or frozen cherries that you thaw. All the ingredients and measurements are in a link right below this video. This cake is not difficult to make, it just takes a little bit of time. There are 3 parts: the cake, the cherry filling, and the cream frosting. Let's prep the cake pan. This is a 9-inch by 3-inch tall cake pan. I'm using parchment paper, fold it in half again, into a triangle, put the tip in the middle of the pan, and we'll cut right here. Butter the bottom and sides of the pan. Use a brush or just spread it with your hands. Put the parchment on and rub a little bit more butter. Pan is ready, set it aside. Next we'll sift the dry ingredients. All-purpose flour, cocoa powder, and a pinch of salt. Set this aside. Now we'll use a mixer to beat eggs, sugar, and a little bit of vanilla extract. We'll beat it about 10 minutes until it's thick, creamy, and forms ribbons. Put the sugar in, eggs, vanilla extract, I use speed 6 on my KitchenAid 7-quart mixer for 10 minutes. Fold in the dry ingredients in 2 parts. Fold gently. Make sure you go down to the middle where flour can hide. Take a spoon of this mixture, put it in a bowl, pour in melted butter, mix this well, and we'll fold this into the rest of the batter. That's good. Pour this into the pan and bake it right away. Bake for about 30 minutes. The toothpick should come out clean or with very few crumbs. Let the cake cool completely on a rack. I'm using canned cherries. They're whole with no pits. I've drained the cherries and put all the juice into a cup. We'll save that. I'll soak the cherries in half a cup of Kirsch. The Kirsch is a strong, lovely cherry flavor. You can soak the cherries for about 2 hours or even overnight. Here we have the cherry juice from the cans after draining the whole cherries. The cherries have been soaking for a few hours, now we'll drain them. That one's for me. You can really taste the alcohol, so Don't use the kirsch if you're serving this to children. Drain them really well and put the cherries back into the bowl. Set aside 12 cherries to decorate the top of the cake. Pour the liquid into a saucepan. We're going to heat this up and thicken it. Save a few tablespoons of juice in the measuring cup. I'll mix in some cornstarch to thicken the juice. Mix this until smooth. Put the sauce on the stove and heat it up. The juice has come to a boil. Now we'll add the cornstarch slurry. When you first pour the cherry juice into the pan, taste it, and if it's sour, add a little bit of sugar. This juice is sweet, so I didn't have to add any sugar. You can see it's thickened up instantly. Just let this boil for a minute and it'll be ready. It's been 1 minute. I'm going to turn the heat off. Leave this to cool and it'll thicken up. The cake has cooled completely. Now we can take it out of the pan. Run a butter knife or offset spatula around the cake. Put a plate or cake board on top. And flip it over. It should come out cleanly. The parchment's on the bottom of the pan. The cake is nice and light, so we'll do 2 layers. Put the cake on your serving platter. Take a serrated knife and cut this in half. You can go around and mark it first. Take the top layer off. Mix 3 tablespoons of the reduced sauce into the cherries. You'll have a lot of sauce left over, which you can use as a topping for ice cream, puddings, or other cakes. You can also pour it on some waffles or pancakes with some fresh fruit. The last part is to whip heavy cream. Powdered sugar. And that looks good. Stiff peaks. Sprinkle on a little kirsch on the bottom layer of cake, or you can sprinkle on the cherry juice. Put the cherries on. Some of the whipped cream. Go all the way to the edge of the cake. Put the second layer on and press down. Sprinkle on more kirsch on the top of the cake. Then spread whipped cream on the top and sides of the cake. Save a little bit of the frosting to make rosettes. If there are a lot of crumbs on the cake like this, take a little bit of the cream and put a thin layer on top. It's called a crumb coat. After you've done the crumb coat, you can finish this off with some more whipped cream. To get a nice straight side, hold the spatula at an angle and just go straight across. You see all the excess on top. Just pull it towards you. Do 4 at first so it's easier to pipe even rosettes. You could do 2 in between. This can serve 8 to 12. The cake is usually decorated with some chocolate in the middle. Take a bar of chocolate. You can make little curls using a peeler. Or you can go across the bar like this to get larger shavings. Put a cherry on top of each rosette. I've made this in cherry season and put fresh cherries with the stems on top. They look beautiful. Unfortunately, we can't do that all year round. Put some chocolate in the middle. You can put as much or as little as you like. If you want to decorate the sides, shave more chocolate and just press it on the sides. It's best if you make this cake the day before you're going to serve it because it really needs to sit and absorb all the juices of the cherry and the kirsch. It'll taste much better. The cake takes a little bit of time, but it's definitely worth making, especially for the holidays or a special occasion. You can see the layers of cake, whipped cream, and cherries. I hope you give this cake a try and let me know what you think. Wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I'll see you next year. Thanks for watching.